So my topic is remote user authentication using symmetric encryption. As we all know, remote user is a user who connects to the server over a insecure or secure channel remotely. And remote user authentication is an important part of data communication. Uh, so remote user authentication is generally a process where the remote user will be authenticated by a server through digital signatures. Some example can be authentication of a user using username and password. So the standard definition goes like remote user authentication is a mechanism in which the remote server verifies the legitimacy of a user over an insecure communication channel. So, key distribution under mutual authentication of remote user authentication requires a central key distribution center called as KDC. So, here, over a network of connected hosts, each node or system shares a secret key with the key distribution center called as master key. So, these master keys will be used for the sake of protecting session keys. So, each node connected over the system that's communicating to other system will pass session keys over the channel in order to authenticate the data or authenticate the system. So for protection of these session keys, we need master keys. So master keys will be shared by each system that's present in the network to the KDC, and the session key will be encrypted with the help of master keys. So this method is a distribution of keys over centralized distribution center, and also as it is by using symmetric encryption technique. Here the session keys represent the secret keys that between the communicating parties. So this is the diagram that will be explained in the protocol. So this is the key distribution protocol that is proposed by Needham and Schroeder. So according to them, the communication for key distribution takes place between node A to KDC and then KDC to A, then in between A and B. So A and B are here the two communicating parties. So A initially sends identification details of A, identification details of the destination B and a nonce to KDC, and KDC encrypts the session key, identification details of B, that is the destination, with a nonce, and along with that encrypts another encrypted packet that has been encrypted with the help of master key that is sent by the destination node B, which encrypts the session key and identification details of the source, that is node A. So all of this will be together encrypted with the master key sent by the source node, that is node A. After that, A sends a encrypted packet to B that is encrypted using the master key sent from the destination node B that has identification details of A and session key. B sends a encrypted packet with a nonce and a session key, and then A again sends a session key with a nonce. So the nonce N1 and N2 has great significance. That is, it overcomes the replay attacks. So replay attacks are the ones where cryptanalyst gets hold of a copy of authenticated message and uses it for cryptanalysis, which will be later directed to intended destination. So here the cryptanalyst can impersonate a node that is communicating over a network and send bogus messages. So in order to overcome these, nonces are used in the protocol that is proposed by Needham and Schroeder. But this use of nonce or this protocol has certain disadvantages. Like say cryptanalyst node X has an old session key from A, then X can impersonate A and trick B, saying that it itself is A, and then can send some bogus messages. So X will use the old key and simply replay the step 3. This step will be replayed, And unless B remembers indefinitely all previous session keys used with A, B will be unable to determine that it's a replay attack by X. So if X can intercept the handshake message in step 4, in this step, if the handshake message can be replayed by X, then it can impersonate A's response in step 5, that is the last step of the protocol. And from that point onwards, it can send bogus messages to B. So, Denning proposed another protocol which suggests uses of stamps. So, she suggested that usage of timestamps to overcome the disadvantage in the previous protocol. So, the protocol by Denning makes use of certain timestamps over the synchronous clock over the network so that this disadvantage that can be seen in the previous protocol can be eliminated. So timestamp assures A and B that the session keys have been just generated. So here instead of using two nonces, we are using one nonce and a timestamp. So A sends to KDC identification details of A and identification details of B. KDC sends A encrypted packet that is encrypted by the master keys. That is master keys sent from A and B with the help of master keys sent by A and B, and it is encrypted. Uh, it encrypts session key identification details of B timestamp, and then A sends B encrypted packet that contains session key identification details of A timestamp that is encrypted using the master key from the destination node. So then B sends A session key with a nonce and A sends B a session key with a nonce. So here we are making use of only one nonce and timestamp. And A and B can verify timelines by checking this formula, where delta T1 is the estimated normal discrepancy between the KDC's clock and the local clock at A or B, and delta T2 is the expected network delay time. Even this protocol is having some disadvantages, which is identified by Gong, a scientist, and improved protocol is Gong 92 protocol. So here there is a risk involved of suppressed replay attacks. That is, the protocol that is suggested by Denning expects the clock over the entire network to be synchronized, but there are chances that this synchronization can be sabotaged with certain faults, or maybe because of some internal clock faults the synchronization can go, and even the clocks over the network can have some time differences. So the problem occurs when a sender's clock is ahead of the intended recipient's clock. So in this case, an opponent can intercept a message from the sender and replay it later when the timestamp in the message becomes current at the recipient's side. So this replay could cause unexpected results, and Gong refers to such attacks as suppress replay attacks. So one way to counter these types of attacks is to regularly check the clocks against the KDC's clocks, ensuring that they are having their synchronization. And another alternative is to rely on handshaking protocols using nonces. So later, Ken 92 protocol made an attempt to fix all the inconsistencies like suppress replay attacks or the disadvantages with the help of timestamp and nonces, but it also had certain inconsistencies. But later, this was improved in NYM 93A protocol. So the protocol goes like: A sends to B a nonce, which is a newly generated nonce with identification details of itself, that is node A, and B sends to KDC identification details of itself, nonce B, that is newly generated, and an encrypted packet that contains identification details of A, nonce that is generated by A, and the timestamp or the time at node B, that is encrypted with the help of master key of node B. Then KDC sends to the source node an encrypted packet that is encrypted with the help of master key generated by A, and it encrypts identification details of B, that is destination node, nonce generated by A, then session key and timestamp at node B with another encrypted packet that is encrypted using the master key generated at node B, and it encrypts the identification details of source node, session key and timestamp generated at node B with a nonce that is generated at node B, and A shares to B another encrypted packet, which is the last step in the protocol, that is encrypted with the help of uh, the master key generated at node B, and it encrypts IDA identification details of a session key, timestamp at node B, and a session key with uh, with the nonce generated at B. So it is encrypted using the session key. So advantages of this protocol is that it is effective and provides complete security, and also the protocol leaves A in possession of a key that can be used for subsequent authentication to B. So this will avoid a need to contact the authentication server repeatedly. And also these newly generated nonces, that is NA and NB, that ensures that there is no replay attack like how it was there in previous protocols. So the next type of authentication in remote user authentication is one-way authentication. So previous protocols describe authentication over mutual authentication type of the remote user authentication. So in mutual authentication, we have two systems authenticating each other to be online at the same time. But considering a scenario where one person is offline and the other node sends an email, but the person who is offline when receives the mail have to authenticate the mail and the user who has sent it. So at this time, one-way authentication plays an important role where any one user can be online at a time. Both need not be online in order to share the data over an insecure channel. So, over a network, decentralized key distribution using symmetric encryption is impractical. So, even for one-way authentication, key distribution uses a centralized key distribution center. So, for one-way authentication, the below protocol has been developed and ensuring that the key distribution is secure, but this given protocol does not protect against replay attacks, and also here timestamp usage is completely impractical because one system has to be online at a time, and if other is not, then timestamp is of no use. So in this protocol, A sends to KDC identification details of itself and identification details of the destination with a nonce, and KDC sends to A encrypted packet. That encrypted packet consists of the session keys, identification details of the destination node, source node, with session keys and nonce, and these are encrypted using the master keys that is generated from the destination node and the source node, that is node A and node B. Then A sends to B encrypted packet that is encrypted using the master key from node B, and it is along it encrypts the session key and identification details of A, and then the message whatever the data that has to be sent will be encrypted with the help of the session key, and all together will be sent by A to B. Thank you.